I think that as the narrative has gone, that a lot of LEC fans have abandoned Mad Lions, but I think that they absolutely can take this game. Now, I think one of the best things they could do in the draft to ensure that that happens is to ban Palafox's Orianna. They have done that. It's the first ban here on Red side. I think absolutely a must ban against this player. He's been fantastic on the pick. And we'll see what he plays now that the champion pool's thinned out by that so critical champion he's played so well so far this tournament.
I completely agree. And really quickly, as Azael said, I also feel like it's strange how European fans have abandoned Mad Lions. And we were talking before this cast of like, because last cast, you know, I was the NA guy, you were the LCK guy. I can be both because I can be both Mad and NRG because literally they're 1-6 against North America. If they win this game, those 6 North American wins just become more impressive. So I'm actually, I think it's a win-win either way.
Now, this Yuumi pick is just here to scare everyone. It's not actually going to happen. Don't worry.
Akshan, too.
Akshan as well.
That's not Doran, though. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. We'll see what they want to prioritize here. There's a lot of high prio picks here. The Maokai is available. The Xayah was gone. Obviously, the Kalista is gone here. So, will be the Maokai. I think it works with almost every type of composition. Yep. And it looks like here potentially Chasey's Rumble to come out to answer. I think this pick is quite strong right now. We saw it have great success when it's played around last game. But I'm wondering now, is Jace going to be what they're looking for here with this Maokai? Because that seems to be, to me, the biggest synergy that Maokai has right now in this meta.
I think absolutely. We might even see Kai'Sa come out as well because Maokai just makes Poke Champions so strong. Palafox is a big Jace player. We'll see, though, against Niski, maybe they want to change it up a little bit. And there is Alistar, which kind of baits you into a Silas pick as well as a takeaway, but the Jace is the thing that makes the most sense.
Definitely does. That's the Kai'Sa you were talking about. The Xayah banned away. Yeah. And in terms of tier list, with Kalista and Xayah gone,
it's a poke comp.
It's a poke comp. The Kai'Sa goes really well with it. It's very high tier, so they're going to get 3 extremely good picks on the side of NRG, but also
it's
on the
a
side
hard
of
engage comp.
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to send it.
You've got... When you're going up against Poke, you have to close that gap, right? Poke is the range that you have to somehow get on top of. The Maokai can be great defensively, of course, in stopping those types of engages, but isn't going to stop a Rumble ultimate flanking Jarvan. Now, let's see how thinned out Niski's champion pool does get here, because another option could have been grabbing the Azir here. Feels fairly safe into Jace, does close that gap. Great for defensive options as well, and offers a lot of damage back in those neutral fights or over objectives. So, if I'm NRG here, I think that's one of the picks I'm definitely looking to take away from Niski right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Silas ban as well for NRG, just because I think Niski's an exceptional melee player, but the Azir ban makes a lot of sense as well because of the lane prio, as you talked about. I do wonder exactly what Dokla will end up going with, because the Rumble is just a really hard matchup, and they've now banned 3 top laners, so Dokla is going to have a really good game despite getting targeted in the draft. And also for Mad Lions, they were at their best when they were playing through Chasey. And so far, this draft is allowing them to do so.
Sivir removed here as well. A lot of wave clear opportunities with that pick, and now denied here. And obviously the Xayah is gone. In terms of scaling 80 carry picks, I mean, the Zeri has been the most popular in these types of situations. I don't think we're going to be seeing something like an Aphelios. Doesn't really fit the theme of this composition. I think you can definitely lock that one in right now and save that 5th pick for the mid lane, if that's what they want to do. It's going to be Neela, though, our first of the tournament. Did not expect that.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit worried. You were talking about this area. I was thinking, please not Ezreal. But Neela, I mean, that's going to be really fun. I mean, this is a pick that can also hard engage alongside of it. The rest of the comp, that is. So will be interesting to see if Carzzy can pilot that to a top level.
Yeah, 1 loss all time for Carzzy on Neela. So definitely not even one of like his pocket picks. It's just crazy that we're seeing it here, honestly.
Now, Dokla loves to play Jax. It is available. We saw it just get absolutely... Oh, it's banned. No, my bad. I was just saying, I would really hate to see it here, but it is banned. Thank you for that call out, Val. This pointed out to me right away. Because that's the one pick I would absolutely not want to see here. We already saw it destroyed by Rumble and Jarvan just moments before. Let's see what he wants to go with. Because he could go for Ornn for implementing your scaling later on, and does give a little bit more mid-game fighting power. It's late-game engage. It looks like they're going to flex the Jace top here potentially and put that Silas there into the mid lane. So a late last-minute swap to come through. Very strong into the Alistar. Great ultimates to steal.
And I guess you could also, like, they can wait until 20 seconds to decide mid or top lane. Dokla, back in the day, was a big top Jace player. So both of these guys have a lot of experience playing carry tops. I doubt we'll see the Sylas top lane, but they honestly could, if they really wanted to, stack a bunch of MR early against the Rumble. So a bit of a flex pick there for NRG. They were huge enjoyers of flex picks all throughout the summer split. They actually pioneered the Kai'Sa Rel 1-2, and they'd play Kai'Sa mid, and they'd play Rel in the jungler support, so they had this double flex going on. Kind of love the draft for NRG.
The Taliyah will ultimately, Valdez, be the pick that Niski goes with here. And looking at things, if they hadn't picked the Sylas, there was a real chance that Niski was going to pick that up himself. Obviously, steal the Maokai ultimate, and then you can use that against this composition. But I do think that I'd much rather see Jace top here, and we are going to see that, it looks like, as these final seconds do tick down, just because Sylas is going to struggle against this Jarvan Rumble lane if he is isolated there against Maokai, not going to be able to help out as much. Overall, I think this is going to be a game about keep away for NRG, and for Mad is trying to close that distance all in. They have such great engage options.
Yeah, the Taliyah follow-up into the Sylas, as it does look like that is going to be heading in there. Let's see how this one goes, as the coaches will give the fist bumps on the stage. We will be getting ready to jump into the second game of the day, the second of 4 that we do have on the slate for you guys today. Of the teams that are 1-1, trying to either make it into an advancement match later on in the tournament, or move down into a kind of defeat match, where if you do get knocked out there, you are done for the tournament. So we'll have to wait and see who is going to take that next step towards the winner's side of the bracket.
So much on the line for these two teams, I think, in terms of pride. Of course, the pride of North America for NRG, but Mad trying to regain some of that fan sentiment after having a bit of a struggle lead into this tournament. Hype wasn't high for them. They managed to maintain that 1-1 to go 2-1. Gives you hope that maybe they could win that promotion series.
Absolutely. There is unfortunately a brief pause at the start of this game that we hope gets resolved soon. But it is very interesting looking at the way this format is playing out, specifically for NRG and Mad, which makes this game even more important. The winner will move to 2-1. And let's just think about what these teams will have had to do to get there, right? NRG draws Weibo, maybe a hard first round draw considering they could have gotten the Gigamite Marines or BDS, but they lose that game. Then they get a domestic team kill against TL, who they beat in 2 best-of-5s throughout the regular season, and now this game against Mad Lions. So literally they could be 2-1 by beating a team they beat domestically and then beating Mad Lions. Whereas you compare that to a team like, let's say, G2, who will also be 2-1. They had to beat the 4 seed from LCK, the 4 seed from LPL, and then lost to Gen G, but they will be literally the same, depending on what happens in this game. Mad Lions as well will have only beaten BDS and NRG to make it to 2-1 if they, in fact, do so.
Yeah, we'll come down to this one to see who will have that in their pockets. But guys, you can connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emotes. As you might see in this situation, Elyoya in a really bad spot. He doesn't have much where to go, and he does not have a splash. That should be the end of it, as First Blood is given over to Palafaker.
Oh boy, well that is not the start you are looking for if you are a Mad Lions fan, and that is a huge early lead. First Blood going over to the Sylas here. Palafox picks it up. Some assist gold shared as well amongst his teammates.
I know we call him Palafaker, but we literally just saw Faker on Sylas, and he didn't have a kill in the first 20 minutes. This guy got a kill in the first, like, 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Speed running.
I think
I'm giving you nothing. I'm sorry.
It might have something to do with that C9, actually respected the Sylas level 1 engage, and we did not necessarily see that here from the side of Mad.
Look, Valdez and I hold Faker very sacred, okay? I've seen a lot of mid laners try to call themselves Faker. We have, seen Faker Dage, for example. We've seen a lot of North American mid laners.
A lot of Faker imposters throughout the years.
Imposters in the LCS. But in this case, we'll give him credit because it was a good play set up in part by his teammates. They do end up punishing very early on. Elyoya now flashes.
Level 2. I mean, you got to respect this. Palafox getting in Niski's face. And this can be a good matchup, but not if you're getting chunked out this early on in the lane. So definitely going to have to look out for that one for Niski, as we'll take a look at the replay and what exactly happened here.
Elyoya just wants to check vision with his flag and see what's going on. It steps up too far, and they set a trap for that potential situation.
Yeah, that's just a really good level 1 by NRG. I haven't checked, but they may have checked that Elyoya does that a lot early game when he's trying to prevent an invade, especially on Jarvan, and just knowing your ranges as the Silas. Like going East start right there to hop over the wall ends up paying off big time for Palafox and NRG.
Picked up a Dark Seal now with some of that extra gold, and he is feeling very good about his start to this game. Talk about some of the matchups here. Obviously, the Taliyah into Silas. Taliyah can have that large advantage in terms of range and some poke. Up here on the top side, this is a matchup that's a lot more comfortable than a lot of melee matchups you'll face with Rumble because you can offer some damage back. But we're not going to talk about much more.
Level 2 Hex Flash. What are you? What is going on? Ignar trying to make some big plays early on.
Yeah, Ignar likes to gank. He's had a very interesting career making that World's quarterfinals run with Misfits back in 2017. Going to pause for a second as Elyoya thinks about scaring Dokla back. But Ignar really struggled when we went through the Enchanter meta, and I feel like is probably ecstatic that we're back to Rakan Alistar Rel, because that is absolutely what he succeeds in.
There are a lot of players like that who do prefer the engaged supports. Ignar definitely on the list of those, trying to find his early advantage for his mid laner, further his advantage for his mid laner, but won't come up with anything. Now, Neela does have, of course, the ability to have an experience lead. You can see she's already level 4 here to FBI and Ignar's level 2 because of that shared experience that they're going to pick up with Hylissang. He's going to be able to get 6 first for an upcoming objective fight, as we're going to hold our thought on that, as once again, Elyoya lurking.
Spending a lot of time up here. As long as Dokla lets the wave crash without taking too much damage.
He's got contracts up here as well.
Oh, that's a good bait.
And here is Palafox as well, joining the party.
Yeah, I mean, they have to know Palafox was missing, so that's why they wouldn't have taken that bait from Dokla.
JC might have to flash here as already the damage is coming out. Oh, Elyoya, he stayed as he's not going to get that kill on a JC. Now Palafox a bit alone. Dokla just going to cancel his recall. Elyoya thinking about continuing on this one, but will just back away.
This is a fairly classic Palafox play in that it's very sacrificial, because think about what he just did. He roamed top lane, he burned all of his health, but what he did do is he got both summoner spells off the enemy Rumble. Nisqy gets a lot of time though. He free pushed a wave into turret. It's not going to get a plate, but it's going to start the process of getting mid push. And we'll see if it bails out Dokla, as Hilly has also made his psychopath roam. No one else is here, but he literally gets the flash because you think he must have backup if he's coming at me as an Alistar. So,
and it was a great call because they had a little bit of push bottom side, and at the same time you have Carzzy actually shadowing mid, so that Taliyah push actually does crash that additional wave into the turret, does some additional damage, so you can roam top side and actually look for that punish. So they grab a flash there. Nothing really lost bottom side. You can see Carzzy is catching the wave there under turret. And FBI will, of course, secure the scuttle and come back down, but that's a huge grab. Jace definitely needing flash to survive some of the hard engage that we're going to have on these upcoming objective fights very soon.
Definitely going to be very important. A lot of action once again in this second game. A bit more even in this one compared to the one-sidedness of the first game that we did see. Saw that Nisqy pretty far ahead in terms of XP, getting some alone time in the mid lane. As here we go, Ignar trying to invade alongside of Contracts, getting in the face of Hylissang, who's just going to walk it off.
Not much they can do there. Dokla with a small experience advantage, but now that Rumble is level 6, you have to respect also the fact that Dokla needs to now play like weak side Jace. Makes him need to play super conservative, but NRG is going to be very happy with this. They got the level 1 gold onto Palafox, which allowed him to play a little bit less for himself because he's still going to be able to hit his power spikes at the right time. And now NRG should be able to get this dragon.
Yeah, nothing Hilly can do about this, and Carzzy doesn't quite have level 6. They wouldn't have the damage. There's nobody nearby here. Nisqy's just going to try to push another wave through here to get a smaller advantage, but won't actually lead to anything. Is up here.
Uh-oh. Elyoya is here. We got Nisqy making his way over. He's got his wall in position. 3v1. Dokla and her big, but can you make this happen as the knockup comes in, the knockback as well as Dokla tries to trade it back, but it will just be a kill handed over to the Rumble in the top lane.
Yeah, really tough there for Dokla. I think Mad made a really nice counterplay for the Drake. That is more the type of play that Nisqy wants to make when he is at his best. He's a mid laner. He's the one who leaves. And he leaves for the rest of his team over and over again, making it a pretty impossible gank for Dokla to survive.
And a lot of this, of course, is off of Hilly getting that flash moments before, and then Nisqy comes over here because he has that push I was talking about. Yeah, he's not going to get a turret plate. He's not going to cost any minions, of course, per Palafox, but can make this play here topside with the Weaver Reaver's wall because they have that wave pushed in. He has mid control. So every single action you make on the Rift leaves an opening for plays like this, and having the Taliyah allows you to roam so aggressively, and that's one of the powers of this pick early.
Absolutely is. I'm very curious to see as well. You know, we haven't had a lot of action down on the bottom side, but even over in the LCK, we see a bunch of players trying to pick up the Nila, and to pretty decent success. Gumayusi's played it a lot. We've even seen Chu playing it a bunch in the LCK, if you guys know that name. Definitely has the power. We've seen it, and especially alongside of Hard Engage, can just follow up in such a huge way that if Carzzy plays this to a top level, I'm excited to see what he can show here on the world stage with this champion. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, what Nila has is insane mobility, as well as really strong engage with her ultimate, the Apotheosis. So closing the gap, if you can avoid that Maokai ultimate, is pretty easy for Nila, and then you could set up for a follow-up ult, you know, from the Cataclysm of Jarvan, of course, the Rumble ultimate, and you just layer all these ultimates on top of each other, on top of those big carries in the back line.
I'd say the only thing that NRG would want to have happen there is have Palafox get really fed. Because if you can be a level 16 Sylas, you can steal Alistar ultimate, there's a world where Mad just doesn't have enough damage to take him down, and NRG's team comp ends up being really durable. Other than that, it does seem like a pretty classic matchup of Poke with Maokai, Jace, Kai'Sa versus Hard Engage with Alistar, Jarvan.
Well, Dokla does not have his flash, and he's getting bullied again. This is 3v1. We do have Palafox trying to make his way up. Dokla just trying to survive. He's on fire, though, and down he will go. Contracts and Palafox trying to turn this one around. Can they burst down Chasey? Just a bit more damage as he has the equalizer. Is going to hit nothing, but they do take out the Rumble. Meanwhile, down to the bottom side, FBI trying to get away from two members. As Hylissang and Carzzy not quite able to get him down, and Ignar will also just run it out.
But a huge experience advantage for Mad Lions in the bottom lane, in part due to the Nila. I would say that that's a decent trade for NRG. It looked like there was just a straight up 3-for-1 gank, but Contracts and Palafox made enough ground. And if you're trading a Rumble kill for a Sylas kill plus a Rift Herald, that's a kill that NRG is going to take.
Go again. Ignar, though, is going to hit level 6. As you can see, Carzzy's just taking 0 damage. He's just running at them, and Ignar not going to go for the play there.
And not going to commit any further here. Looking for a back under this control ward. Hylissang going to try to swap this out. Will stop the back. Should be able to clear that ward as well with Elyoya's help. Elyoya's wrapping around. This might not be the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're delaying backs for quite a while. Elyoya is here. You see the ward go down. Ignar is still hanging around.
There's no ults for Mad, so they have to be pretty clean on this.
Yeah, this is intense.
I can't believe Elyoya was patient there to not do anything.
Yeah, they're just staring each other down. They don't know what's in there. As okay, that's not going to amount to too much as the teleport comes out, and now Ignar will press his buttons and get that engage going. As the dive from Mad, a little bit lackluster, and with the teleport coming in, NRG will win big.
I mean, sometimes the patience come back to bite you. You stay too long. They identify the situation, teleport to cancel. That play and grab a kill is Dokla. He is getting abused.
That's a lot of damage. I mean, the wall's gonna come in here. Niski is being followed, and he will pick up the kill. The Contracts is here now. He's got his ultimate as well. Can Niski survive against the big tree? I'm not so sure what auto might do it, and that will be Contracts picking up the kill.
The rare Maokai solo kill, but this whole wave's going to be going away. NRG won't be able to collect it. That's still, I think, overall worth for Niski.
Yeah, he's got teleport. He can go straight back to lane. Elyoya's catching his farm. 100% worth.
Oh, trying to get in here with the Alistar ultimate. He just doesn't take any damage. As Elyoya just trying to survive, and that he will. Hylissang coming over. This game is going off the rails now as the supports are coming in. There's that big Apotheosis. A lot of 3 players, and Carzzy going to get a huge shutdown here on the Palafox in the mid lane.
He's got his collector. He's got that damage. I mean, this is what we're talking about. These types of scrappy fights are what Nila is so good at.
And that's a huge turnaround for Mad Lions. Palafox was really feeling himself there with the Alistar ultimate, thinking he can kill Elyoya before this Dragon, get them ahead, but giving away that bounty.
Oh boy. Daniel gets talking a little bit, I swear, as these teams will not stop fighting each other, especially Hilly, who just decided to kind of go in there alone.
This is what we're here for there. NRG and Mad just battling it out. Couldn't have it any other way with Ignar versus Hillsong on two hard engaged champions.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what these two comps can do and how well they can punish, especially in these scrappy early game fights. It is pretty insane as JC is going to try to push this advantage, baiting Elyoya.
Another bait. Him very nicely. Palafox is taking a huge amount of damage, even with the Cataclysm. Oh! Does do a nice amount of follow-up damage with this Q, but it is not enough. Mad will pick up another kill.
Always drink your potions. He's going to live through that one. That's 3 kills now on this Rumble. He's about to pick up his first item here. Now, this will be at the cost of some plates here in mid lane. Dokla's the one who picks those up. It's not Palafox, but still, Mad Lions, I think, definitely winning out on this exchange.
I think so as well. JC is the carry so far with 3 kills on the Rumble, and I think Palafox, in particular, needs to just take a deep breath and reset. He had such a great start to this game with the kill and some teleports, but these are 2 situations in a row where he was kind of baited into a fight. When he was found in that bush, he literally could have just backed up to the second turret. He thought he had enough damage to 100-0, and same when he tried to dive Elyoya, he thought he had enough damage, was a little bit short. Both of these situations was Matt actually baiting him a little bit, so just take your time. Realize you have the scaling on Silas, realize your team has 2 Drakes, and just play your game.
Yeah, you catch a Rumble with Neverfrost and he stays, you gotta know something else is coming.
Yeah.
Unfortunately just thought he had the damage there. He nearly did, but did not quite have it. We're gonna see FBI and Karzi move into the mid lane here. Side lane set up on the bottom side for Palafox versus Niski down there. And it's gonna be a little bit of a period of time here before we get to this next Drake, but I want to mention it because it is Mountain Soul, and it is Mountain stacked against Poke here for NRG if Matt starts getting those up, as Niski might be vulnerable.
Boy, yeah, he's going to get Everfrost. It doesn't react to it at all. He's just going to go down for free. 2 players just getting in the enemy jungle, and NRG pick up another one.
Palafox just so active. That was not a bait. That was, he brought friends, and it was much more successful.
For real this time. Yeah. It's part 2.
On the top side of the map here for Mad Lions, they won't come up empty though. They will go ahead and grab this turret here, so let's go further actually. The lane economy snapshot presented by MasterCard here for the top laner. JC picking up so much money, and he is the carry, as you mentioned, Jad, earlier for this team. And there's a lot of setup for him, so even though Karzi isn't massively ahead, Talia isn't massively ahead, you can set up this Rumble for success. This is going to be, from Niski's point of view, just has no vision here, so focused on this Gromp, it will be stolen away from him as the cherry on top here for NRG.
Yeah, Palafox definitely in a great situation for success here. Teleport coming in right now. There is a flash.
Yeah, they're trying to shut down the carry here. That is not going to land, and he misses the equalizer entirely.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I'm not playing Rumble. This is how I can prove.
So, okay. This is the
harsh, Valdez, harsh.
How many attempts does it take to learn Rumble? Because he's 0 for 2 so far.
Yeah.
Third time, surely.
Let's do a 3-strike system here.
Okay. If
he's got one more. He's got one more. Come on, guys. He's got one more. All right. Now they're going to turn this into a topside play here for this turret. It is Jace who presses W, but it's going to take a long time here. This should give Mad Lions a chance to react. They're also pushing bottom side turret here, so I think Dokla should realize that this is not going to be a full turret he's going to be able to grab here. It will be contested, but this is all, of course, leading up to this Rift Herald that's going to spawn in 20 seconds. So Mad Lions already in position to come over here. Teleport available for this Talia. Niski going to try to grab this turret, then come over and help out for the fight. This is such an important fight for Mad Lions to win. It'll take the momentum back away from NRG, and then allow them to set up for this next Drake so they can start stacking those mountains against the Poke.
Yeah, it looks like NRG, if they can just pick this one up, they're going to drop it mid lane before the next Drake, and then you get mid turret as well as possibly good setup. So it doesn't really look like Mad Lions is in position to contest. Second Herald does take a little bit longer to kill, but NRG definitely has first setup. Let's see what Haley decides to do.
Well, TP is going to be committed to by both of the players here. Doklan also joining on up. It's a 5v5, and with Maokai ultimate, Matt say, well, that's a pretty strong ability. We're not in position to really fight this one. He misses the flag and drag, but will be just fine. But again, it's just a free Rift Herald there to the side of NRG.
Yeah, it will make a 20-second desync with Maokai ultimate and the next spawn of Drake. So Mad might be okay with that trade. I also think Palafox's ultimate timer on Alistar ultimate may expire, so Mad is just going to try and play the cooldown game and see if they can get an advantage on this next turret.
I mean, the fact that the Silas, Palafox is holding on to that Alistar ultimate makes it so difficult to engage there, especially with the late join of Niski, because he really wanted to get that turret goal bottom side. They just didn't buy themselves enough space to actually get in there and engage. Now, they will, of course, have said space for this dragon, as you're mentioning. They have set up for it, so it feels like, yeah, it didn't go so well in their Rift Herald fight, but we keep our tools, we keep these options open, and with a lack of vision here for NRG, you're going into this Neela ultimate, you're going into Equalize, you're going to Elyoya, they spot him out.
This is where Maokai saplings are very nice to have because you don't need to blindly check, otherwise that's exactly what Matt wants.
Oh boy, Carsey goes there.
Wow.
No, he's going to get caught by 2, and he does have some help from the Alistar. Look at the damage on the front line here from the side of NRG, and Palafox is just unkillable. He's just running at the side of Matt, and there's the follow-up from the Kaisa. FBI gets to that back line, and will just rip them to shreds. It's now Hilly will be the last casualty. He does get 1 kill, and finally shuts down FBI, but that's not where you want that shutdown to go.
What a massive fight from NRG there. You could see Mad tried to pull the trigger first, but it was Ignar's engage that really landed. They do not take the Drake immediately. They're just stacking gold. Second tier, mid tier, bot turret as well. Huge lead.
And also, Carsey whipping this engage is a huge problem here. They double flash, means that his flash is traded for 2, sure, but the re-engage from Ignar is so solid here. And even though Chasey is very far ahead, he's very fed, he's only hitting the Silas in the front line who's got enough resistances to power through. Once Carsey's out of this one, you are just going to lose the longer fight in every scenario. There's only so much Chasey can do. He's got his flamethrower, he's got his equalizer, but he's never going to have the damage output to win that longer fight.
So much gold going over to NRG and soul points. So if NRG is able to hold on to this game, they will move to 2-1, which will put them 1 best of 3 away from advancing. That is what you want from the #1 seed in the LCS.
Yeah. And at the same time, NRG, they have a decent amount of poke in this comp, as we do have a pause. We'll let you guys know what's going on with that. But the second, if you overextend, the Kai'Sa's going to punish you, the Rel's going to punish you, the Silas is going to be in your face. You have to be so careful about how you take those engages. I think Matt just a little bit quick on the trigger on that one, and they got totally caught out. So NRG, absolutely fantastic how they were able to turn that one in their favor.
It feels like you could really feel Matt's desperation as they've started to lose control everywhere but topside. They had some fantastic plays topside. They put the Jace down, but even when they had objective control, it felt like they're losing time. If you don't engage fast enough, that Jace pit poke will wear you down, so you have to make that call. But the double flash was so quick on the reaction there, everything whiffs, and that's all it takes. And Mad in this moment has to do something. They have to make some aggressive play. It was Carsey's call. If those reactions aren't as fast as they were there, maybe that's a 1 fight for Mad.
I see R's in chat, so it looks like whatever the issue that was paused for has been resolved. I'm actually very happy that NRG was able to flash those just because of all the reaction time mechanics memes that have been given in the past. Instant flashes at exactly the same time for both of them to set up the win for that fight. I will say, though, even with that failed engage, a lot of the people on NRG got very low. The Neela did take a pretty considerable amount of time to die, so I think there is still hope with how much power Mad Lions have in a lot of these engages to catch FBI in a wombo combo. And just so you guys know, NRG had a lot of games in North America with pretty big leads that they did not win. So
we watched a few of those.
They are a very entertaining team to watch.
Well, definitely a fiery bout so far. Tons of back and forth in the early game, but now it really feels like NRG are taking off with this one, as that will be a simultaneous Blasco to get out to safety here from Matt.
And I think the last stand that Mad get to have is on either this upcoming Baron fight, which will probably be a few minutes away, or, of course, to defend Solus Hilly.
They're going to try to get here onto Ignar, who is isolated. Will throw out the ult, but there's 3 members in there. And look at FBI. He can't do anything. He's trying to just get out of here as the wall is going to follow up. And FBI is totally isolated. He is the bonus kill for the side of Mad.
Okay, this is actually the moment. 15 seconds on the Baron spawn, and that's a 15-second desync with FBI's timer. So I think Mad Lions is going to go straight for Baron. That's exactly what I thought they were going to do, is just go for a fast play. Whenever you're down this much in gold, you need to go for a quick play. Hilly is
into the team. He's just free food for the side of Mad. Mad as now.
Miscommunication!
The Baron, maybe that delays a little bit of time for FBI to get here, but he doesn't have TP. So Mad are just going to send it on the Baron.
Maybe. We'll see how much damage Palafox, three-strike system. Does he get a good ult?
That was pretty good. He is going to do a lot of damage.
That's very
here in the front here. Now the turn does come out from Mad as they keep the Baron alive as well. They get the Silas. As desperate as NRG, they just want to stop this Baron from going down.
They gotta give it.
I don't think they're going to be able to stop it at the end. Mad will take it down, and Hylissang will give up his life for it.
So one pick is all it takes. Elyoya can flag drag over the wall. JC, we'll see how lucky he is.
Well, looks like JC might be the bonus as well. Throws out the equalizer, but he is gone as well.
But one pick, as you called it a fast play, Jet, is sometimes all it takes. I was talking about what's going to happen on this upcoming Baron that NRG starts. What's going to happen on this Soul Point fight? They don't wait for that. They seek a mistake. One overextension from NRG right away until he was helped set it up here in the mid lane. They have this ward. They see Ignar is clearing. They see huge opportunity. Flag and drag fall was there. And this composition's pick potential is so high. They're also able to catch an unaware FBI here. Talia Wall comes through. You get these two picks, you know they don't have enough consistent damage to fight Baron. And then the third thing that happens is Dokla getting caught, and now you have no damage outside of a stolen Rumble ult.
Hilly just a masterclass on how to engage right there, because Dokla really should have just teleported to the turret, moved up a little more slowly, waited for the Maokai saplings, but I think NRG had this big lead, and then even Palafox, he's just going early. They didn't have vision inside the pit, so he was thinking he had to go early, but it's still a 6,000 gold. Ignar was on his way. Impatience from both the Dokla and Palafox approaches to this Baron that allowed them to both die and have Mad Lions really close the gap in this game. But there's a fight.
Yeah, there's a fight going on right now. It looks like as the wall's coming out, Iski wants to join up with this one, but everybody's getting hit by the Maokai ultimate as NRG trying to get this front line up, and Ignar going a little bit too far. He's going to be taken out first, and now the engage comes in from Elyoya, immediately taken out by FBI. It's a 4v4 after a couple of picks, and Mad are going to seed mid lane and continue to push this forward.
Such a tense moment in the game right now, because if Mad can win one of these fights convincingly, they can just end the game. They have Baron minions right now on Karzi and Niski.
Yeah, a minute left on that Baron buff right now. Of course, a minute as well until that Dragon does spawn, so they can use that to deny the Soul. Just going to try to slow siege this turret.
Double knockup. I mean, the Talia, and they will get punished for it as FBI can't do anything. Palafox is so driving the turret as the knockup comes in to FBI, and they will take him out in the end as this game is just chaos now.
Nice. It's a total barn burner. It's a slobber knocker. It's NA versus EU at the World Championship. 3 more down for NRG, but 2 down for Mad Lions. I think it will be enough to get them to get this Dragon, but you really never know.
I mean, 1,600 on that Red Bull Baron power play here at the end of the day. And look at this, Niski coming through here, Palafox in the front, but Ignar looks for the hard engage. There's no follow-up. There's a split call. NRG backing away as he goes through. This is really reminiscent of how Team Liquid lost to T1 and the advantages they had in that series to start off the Swiss stage. Just one overextension, you lose so much power, you start to get desperate. Then this double flip here coming through from Niski is going to set up so much damage. Karzi going a little bit deep on this one. Do love Palafox going back in for the re-engage, but it ends up being a trade here and a trade up for Mad Lions.
Niski is clutching up. The amount of seismic shoves he's landed to keep them in this game and make the gold basically dead even, no soul acquired. That little Infernal and 1 Hex deck, they're not doing much. This is anyone's game.
Yeah, we do have the win probability powered by AWS, and it does say bit of a favor to the side of NRG. Maybe it has to do with some of the dragons that have been taken, the way some of these fights have played out. But you're absolutely right, Jet. Niski and his seismic shoves. It's a duo that has been keeping their team in the game. As now we're just fighting again. Equalizer comes out, doesn't hit anything.
4th strike.
The side, yeah. Well.
You gotta be careful about these teleports too.
Was good.
Yeah.
You know?
League of Legends got some different rules. He's gonna keep taking the Rumble ultimate and firing it out.
Dokla doesn't have to flash or anything like that, but that teleport angle was a little bit risky here, and he's not going to gain in ground with a TP down. Could have been if they just backed away, holding it for a little bit longer, finding a better angle here. Mad now have full control around this Dragon pit and are going to push down. They have, of course, picked up that really critical Dragon that denies soul from NRG, and JC going to continue to push through the rest of the team. They don't have Baron buff anymore, so they don't have a ton of siege here. They're just waiting for NRG to come over here and try to contest vision and look for another pick.
Even though the gold is even, and NRG had the win probability edge, I feel like Mad has the mental edge because they were down 4,000 to 5,000 gold and 3 Drakes, and they have been the ones successfully pulling the trigger on multiple fights. You can also see the general position of the map where it's Mad that has the deep rewards, and NRG has to be a little bit shy about pushing up because of what has just happened. They keep getting picked off, and they've lost the most recent 5v5 team fights. I think they need to be very cautious here, use the Maokai saplings, wait until Palafox can get death cap, and then approach the next game. But they actually, weirdly enough, just need to slow down once again. NRG has had multiple moments in this game where they've just gone a little bit too fast.
Palafox has teleport and is trying to hard farm for that death cap. If he can get it in the next 45 seconds here and they can get control with that poke that we've been talking about so much here towards the Baron, it is going to go well for them. Obviously, this is not the build for FBI to have all of the poke, but they still have AP Maokai. They still have this Eclipse on the Jace to poke through.
FBI? Oh man, he's going to have to flash out of that one. Just strolling up to the mid lane, losing flash, I guess. I mean, that's not the place to be alone, and Matt immediately going to take that one.
They've got death cap now for Palafox. He is walking back towards this Baron with the rest of his squad here, but Matt have these choke points controlled, and this is a really big problem because this comp works so well in chokes.
And there's a reason to be nervous and a little bit jumpy here. The winner of this game goes to 2-1, one series away from making it through the bracket stage. A loser as well not only has the humiliation of losing NA versus EU, it puts them on the brink of elimination.
Too real, Jet! Too real.
Maybe that one is worse than going 1-2. Either way, neither team wants to lose this one.
NRG have actually wrestled away control of this Baron pit here, have cleared a lot of this vision. Now there's still that one ward to the left of the pit itself here for Mad Lions, but you can't engage on what you can't see. And how NRG could just control the choke with some saplings here and Jace poke. Every time acceleration gate comes up, it's going to be looking to chip away. Alistair not your best target here, but that is going to add up. Ignar!
Oh, Ignar a little bit left alone, but Yoya is not going to be able to punish that one.
Ignar giving everybody heart attacks right now.
Any
He
moment.
keeps looking for these flanks.
Any moment could be in. Ignar's unpredictable, Hilly's unpredictable. You really never know if it's going to be psychotic or genius as well.
You got to walk that line between Iron and Challenger sometimes, and
it's a circle. It's a circle, actually. It's not.
Look at the goal difference graph here. It was massively in favor of NRG, but the game has evened up so much. It's just 100 gold to lead now. Positional advantage here to Mad, but NRG just not walking into those choke points. They've regained vision because they do not want to walk into the Neela, the Jarvan, etc. And we've talked about this so much, and this game slows down like this because it is just a war of keep away versus hard engage. If NRG walk into the engage, they lose out. They do have, of course, their own forms of engage with Ignar, with contracts to set up the ultimate. We only get one chance at that.
Yeah, and I think NRG doesn't actually want to play this game at the Baron. They'd rather play this game at the Mountain Drake, because if they get it, they get Soul. If Mad gets it, whatever, it's just the second Dragon. So the downsides of the Baron are much worse than the downsides of the Dragon. They're just up here, I hope, to make sure that Mad can't rush it. And Palafox...
okay, we're actually going to send it for this one, as Palafox not going to land that one, as now he has his own wall.
He wants to skate out of here.
Let's see if he can do it. He's trying to get out of vision. And, he's even going to flash. Okay, well, let's see where he goes. He's going straight into the enemy team! You're going to get knocked off of that wall immediately, my guy. As down he goes, Palafox is no longer in the fight.
This is really rough. I thought he was going to try to go up to the top of the lane and TP out and would have lost his TP at least. But, I mean, maybe you get out of that one if you get enough distance. But a tough situation. That was definitely not it, though. And now, mid laner down here, flash down. Mad Lions making a play.
Yeah, 28 seconds until Palafox is back alive. It looks like NRG is going to try and poke and hope that this Dragon is still alive by the time Palafox is back. That shouldn't be possible. Matt should hard commit to this Drake, take it, and then reposition for Baron.
Now, NRG is going to try to send it into the Baron. They know that all of Mad are on this Dragon.
This is risky.
It's a risky call. Such a risky call.
They can flip it. Things have not been going well. They're a little bit on the back foot, but Palafox will be here.
Yeah, they have the damage. They have the Maokai ultimate as well. Yoya can't get into this pit, and that will be the Baron. Given over to the side of NRG in trade of the Drake. Yoya wants to get in, but look at the Maokai.
Do they turn?
Just taking away at the backline of Mad. And now Mad are on the run.
And that's the call you can't make as Mad. You've taken too much damage. If you go ahead in with the Cataclysm there, if you actually try to follow up with the Neela ultimate there, the Apotheosis isn't going to be enough because you've taken so much damage. You were just going to get ripped to shreds by Jace. He's just going to toss his hammer in there, go into melee form, and obliterate your entire team. If you do commit to that, you've taken too much damage. Great call from Contracts to toss that ultimate out to keep them at bay just a little bit longer here. And this is quite bizarre here, Paulifax's decision-making after he does get caught here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're up too far. He does panic here, decides to flash away, and then walls back into Mad Lions rather than going towards the top side there to try to maybe teleport away.
I think if he goes top, he just didn't expect himself to be able to live, and then that makes his death timer even longer. A lot of bad things behind each door, I feel like, when he's trying to make that choice of what to do next.
Yeah, there's no great option.
It does feel like a lot of potential places to go down. Maybe if he goes to the right, you know, towards the top inner turret of Mad.
Oh, Palfaker!
Okay, he's getting some damage in. Niski is going to be chunked just a little bit. That poke is really getting online now. Is the Rumble ultimate going to be stolen here once again by Palafox? This one going to burn down the wave and continue this Baron push. I got to give him something, you know?
Yeah, the nice thing about level 16 Silas is that ultimate will be back up any moment.
I want to hit Karzi or Niski here with this poke on the Jace. And it's mostly landing on the Hylissang. His positioning has been so good. He's always threatening engages, but absorbing a lot of that damage so the carries don't get softened up. Karzi's level 16, and if Hilly and Karzi make an engage together, this could be massive. You've got to be so careful as NRG.
Here we go. And they're going to engage onto the Maokai. Definitely not the target. As in goes the Apotheosis, gets 3, but immediate turn comes out from the side of Ignar, but he's taking a lot of damage on the front line. Contracts is also being taken out. But look at FBI on the left side. He's just chunking him down along the Outlaws. And that is Niski trying to turn this fight around. And he might just be able to, as Niski and Karzi put it together. And they take down NRG in the fight.
This is going to be tight. That's a huge fight for Neela. That's a minion wave in the mid lane that Matt wants to get to because they can do serious damage to the NRG base.
Oh, they absolutely can. Ignar here just trying to escape, spotted by a trinket, has to flash out of here.
Oh, man,
just
he's chased down. Yeah, the Talia passive. Going to try to catch up to him, but I think Ignar's just going to get out of here.
He's trying to buy some time anytime he can and get out with his life for those respawns to come through. FBI on 20, Dokla on 20 here. There's going to be Inner going down. Don't have a massive wave to try to break this base open, but they will be able to get a lot of map control here, clean up a lot of that vision. But this is a tightrope walk that you have as NRG. We're trying to siege this turret, but there's so much engage. Elyoya starts us off, but then it's the follow-up from Karzi that really sets us up. Hylissang in position. That's the combo I was just mentioning. And yes, the follow-up damage is absolutely there. FBI is ripping through those health bars, but Niski is untouched in the back line.
And I think it's the Chasey Rumble ultimate that comes in late. NRG, in the heat of the moment, would think that isn't up at that stage in the fight. So they're willing to walk forward and just clean up the rest of Mad Lions, but they're all clumped up. The Rumble wall burns. Karzi gets the kills, and now he is 7-2 and has, I think, put Mad in a strong position in this game.
He's got GA. I mean, he's really going to be such a powerhouse in these upcoming fights, and the fact that he has GA allows him to really fish for any engage he wants with Hilly's help to set up that damage for the Rumble ultimate again. Baron's up in 2 minutes, so it's still a ways away from that being a game-winning moment for either of these teams, but that Mountain Soul is still so critical.
Yeah, I really feel like Mad Lions in a straight-up 5v5 is stronger. So if NRG can somehow get the Soul without getting aced, that's kind of their only chance to win at this point. They've had such a big lead, but their goal difference just gets chipped away at time and time again, and it just really feels like this engage and the power of Karzi's Neela, not to mention the pinpoint accuracy of Niski's Talia, his weirdly effective team fighting Talia, is overpowering NRG at the moment, but 20 seconds, set up the saplings, and pray.
Yeah. You know, when NRG, when they eventually commit to a fight, you're just straight in the face as they're going for this one, actually. Hylissang going to get that knock up, but Niski with the wall not going to get his. And that is just going to separate them as the Dragon here is spawning in 2 seconds. I'm going to try to get in on this one.
NRG would love it if they could flip this. If it's a fight before that, that's what Mad wants. So Mad wants to engage, but Palafox is holding off on the left side here. If Mad engages, Palafox is going to look to flank and threaten the carries.
They're looking for Dokla.
There's the Maokai ultimate coming out. Now they're going to turn onto Elyoya, who is being chipped away, but Karzi in the back line has an angle, but FBI totally safe on the right side of this fight as finally Apotheosis does come out, but there's no follow-up here.
Double
in
kill.
BTA. And now Chasey and Niski over the wall. Can they get on top of this Kaisa?
FBI?
I'm not so sure as FBI is just chasing him down. And now Niski and Chasey, they're getting teleported on at the backside as well. The W is going to hit it over the wall. Comes Malaport. Chasey goes down. And NRG will ace the fight.
That's 5 for NRG. They don't have waves to currently end the game, but it does mean they're going to be able to get this Mountain Soul.
Double objective should be theirs. They should be able to take Mountain Soul and push it into Baron in 20. Now watch Palafox in this fight, because as you point out, Jack, he's on the edge here, and even though the engage is onto Dokla, Palafox comes through and actually keeps the DPSs away from the fight. Niski and Chasey can't close through. Dokla actually pops that lifeline shield, and he's able to live for so long that Karzi gets popped here. Niski and Chasey never really able to enter this fight, so FBI, for him, it's a shooting gallery here. Palafox, we've been criticizing some of his minor decisions here, but his positioning in this fight, his zoning of the DPSs, and then now his finish of them was fantastic in this one.
Yeah, huge. They have Soul, but the Baron is happening right now. Elyoya would love to steal.
I mean, they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him just to make sure, and they will be sure to pick up another Red Bull Baron power play. I mean, this is going to be Mountain Soul and the Baron. And say what you want about the team fights, maybe this is enough to get NRG over the line when it comes to their buffs in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, the mid-inhibitor turret is heavily damaged. There's an outer, or rather inner turret protecting that top inhibitor turret here. There's a lot to break through for NRG to try to end this game, but they've got good wave, they've got poke to actually shove these through. Going to take some time, though. I think this alone will not likely end the game, but it should give them a lot of map control for potentially that Elder being the game finisher.
Yeah, it's real. I think there's a bug. 36 minutes. I feel like this game has actually been 2.5 years long.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
We have aged that much.
Yeah, I think that's actually what's happened to me, so this is strange. But NRG, right now, thank goodness FBI didn't go lethality Kaisa, because he needs to be able to DPS in these long fights. What felt like a poke comp when they were originally constructing it has turned into something completely different with the duration of these fights, but they still haven't broken an inhibitor, and there have been so many games where an NA team here at Worlds has the Baron buff, they split up too much while they're trying to do a 4-1 and they get engaged on. So Mad Lions, again, will likely look for a fast play before NRG can really set up a poke siege.
Yeah, that damaged mid-inhibitor turret I was mentioning isn't going to last much longer here, and then these minions are going to start breaking into the base. So Mad will have to be decisive here on that fast play, on that call. Going to have to be Hilly and Karzi, very likely again. Elyoya can help with the follow-up. Karzi
trying to push forward and challenge
FBI
cannons that are here buffed by the Baron, but yeah, that's just mid-inhibitor gone, and now you throw in the Maokai ultimate, that against the wall, they're going to have to make a decision. They just hold their grounds. They're not scared about that. It's the Stolen Rumble ultimate. Does do a little bit of damage this time around.
Would have liked to be a little more sync, maybe burn Karzi's cleanse there with the Rumble and Maokai ultimate, but he's able to get out of there pretty much without burning anything.
Niski here looking for a potential play as well. Can cut this team in half with his ultimate if he finds the angle. No flip there.
Just looking for picks for, okay, that's the Unbreakable Will, and immediately that is going to be NRG just backing away from Hilly. He says, okay, well, that's your ult down, and that will eventually expire, and that should be a second inhibitor for us, as the wall is going to come down, it's going to corral NRG, but they don't seem to care at all, as Matt is not going to take this fight.
I think we're going to Elder.
Yeah, the timers on these inhibitors should give NRG a ton of prio, and they can put their focus on the top lane while Mad have to deal with mid and bottom super minion waves. And I think that is going to be where this game is ultimately decided at the end of the day. Mad stacked 2 Mountain Drakes. Those are actually quite significant, even though it's not Soul against this poke composition. You can really feel some of that poke coming through from Dokla when it lands onto Elyoya. When it lands onto Hylissang, feels like it's not really doing all too much. The Soul doesn't help that poke either for NRG. I think that if Mad can get one miracle team fight, if they can get some modicum of control and set up and engage, this game is not over until it's over. But every card is stacked against them.
Yeah, it's really crazy, really, just to think about the power of the 2 Mountain Drakes. Karzi has 191 armor. Chasey has 187 armor. Like, it doesn't look like they should be these tanky people. 1 armor item apiece, but the level 18 base stats as well as the 2 Mountain
Percentage
Drakes,
based, yeah,
pretty huge.
is going to help out a lot for sure when it does come to these later stages of the game. I mean, we're 40 minutes into this one. As you mentioned, Chad, it feels like 2.5 years.
I feel like I'm going to die. Like, there's something happening right now with my heart that is just not right, but I am enjoying the experience. This is fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's 45 kills. That's probably like triple what we're used to. So similar experience over here. And, you know, Matt just holding on to their waves. They are grouped up here at the top of the map. And you can see Elioya maybe trying to look for an angle, but he's just going to flag and drag out of this one.
Look at the damage here for FBI, level 18. He is just, even against these tanks, doing so much damage with every single Q he pops. And they can put the focus here because the time is against Mad in mid, in bottom because of super minions. Niski's going to clear this very quickly. He's got a lot of wave clear. He's running Leandri's here. But time is ticking on the Elder as well, and Mad needs to somehow deal with all these waves, defend topside, get to the Elder Dragon itself, and then look for some of those miracle engages we were talking about. It seems impossible. Well, we've seen crazier things this game already.
I think anything is possible in this one because Mad Lions isn't currently taking any risks. It's really going to be about how NRG can set up the approach to this Baron and Elder Dragon. There's only 30 seconds on the desync between Elder and Baron, so NRG needs to get back fast because they actually don't have great vision at the Elder Dragon right now. This is possibly a situation where you wouldn't want to flip, even though the Mountain Soul was a situation where they want to flip, so I'm really curious to see who ends up being the first team to engage in this fight.
NRG has a lot of structures as well, you know, to buy time against Elder if they do end up losing it. Right now, Mad has control over the pit itself. We see it back here for Niski. He has teleport, can rejoin.
Yeah, that poke's doing nothing from Dokla.
Yeah, I mean, it chipped the shield, I guess. I mean, that's about it. Did a little bit of damage to Karzi with the Kaisa W, but that's, you know, that's the only damage we've really seen as NRG. They do have 4, and look at Palafox, he's just running down the mid lane.
Oh, he's playing a different game. He's not going for Elder.
Someone has to defend that.
No, Mad's going to flip it. They're going to dare him back.
Someone has to go. Chasey, he's going as now.
Oh, man.
We are just going to flip the objective, aren't we? And it is the German who takes it. And now the TPs are coming in. They're swimming in the cave. NRG, they don't want to even deal with the Elder, and they will not have to, as they will take down the Nexus and move on to 2-1.
In true NRG fashion, the double TP backdoor, single TP, the other guy just walked in, but that is how they do it. They don't worry about the 5-minute build up towards the crucial Elder Dragon fight. They just walk in the front door and move themselves to 2-1 in the Swiss stage.
They were super good at making the right calls around stressful objectives. There were some micro mistakes we saw from them. There were definitely some errors in the mid game that gave Matt a little bit more power there. There were some great picks from Hilly. Karzi had some fantastic team fighting. But when it came to decisions around objectives, NRG just came up better. And in that last moment, they knew they had the super minions pushing mid. Palafox made the choice to go up there, threatening